All right. Well, welcome to the Shrewdness Podcast. Lou and Dex are here tonight. We're going to talk about the upcoming NFL season, which is just a couple days away. Very excited about that. We are not going to talk about the Royals and their cliff dive this week.
Game over, man. Game
Yeah.
over.
So since our podcast last week, they haven't won since, and that's why it's going to be
After
a
we
very
were all
short
talking
segment.
them up and
In
whatever.
fact, the segment's
Second best
over.
offensive player is out for 6 weeks. Only's going to play if they make it to the ACLS. You know.
Best pitcher's not pitching well. We got Bobby Witt Jr. That
We're
is
just
all.
gonna- Yeah, we're going to keep.
Okay, that was it.
Keep
That
that.
was literally
Yep.
all. Anything more? And I've already
We'll
promised
see.
I'm getting up and leaving.
That's
might-
it. We're good.
We might get to talk about them next week. We don't know.
Probably not.
Yep.
But football. Yay, football.
Go
That's-
sport ball.
That's going to be our focus tonight. We are also, so we're going to talk a little bit about NFL season, talk about possible, we'll go on record with our records of who we think is going to win each of the divisions and so forth. Maybe some bold predictions for AFC and NFC champions and even a Super Bowl winner. We'll see. We'll see where we go. And then we are also going to talk a little bit about Guillotine Fantasy Football, which, as you know, if you've been listening to the podcast, is a focus of ours. This is the final couple days before week 1, and the first team, will be chopped about 5 days from now. So this is your last chance to kind of shore up your team before that first weekend, so you don't have to sweat it out on Monday night when your tight end needs one catch for 4 yards and he hasn't gotten yet in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
So, all right, let's launch into it. Dex, pick a division and let's talk about who's going to win that division in the NFL.
All right. Because we have AFC bias. Go Chiefs. I'm going to stay with the AFC least division, AFC East. So, let's start with that division. Anyone have a strong take? So, Lewis, I know you kind of have half your household really likes one of those teams out in the AFC East, but who do you have winning that division? We have Buffalo, a perennial favorite. Miami, they've been in the playoffs 3 straight years, I believe, or at least 2. New England, I mean, probably not. Then we have the Jets, an interesting story, and everybody's trying to be all saucy with their Aaron Rodgers' healthy picks. Who do you got winning the AFC East?
So what just happened over the last week or two, there has been a trending of money that has gone on the Jets. My guess it's more like public money, New York City money, to the point where the Jets actually turned favorite.
So you think the Jets are favored now?
Okay. So I'm looking at FanDuel. All right. I think I'm actively looking at FanDuel, and the Jets are plus 165. The Bills are plus 195.
That's unbelievable. How the times have changed.
I said, I think it's the public money coming in from New York City where gambling is legal, and a bunch of people putting money on the Jets is kind of pushing that line that direction.
That could be said. So what's your pick? Who do you pick? You're going on record right now. Lewis says
I would still go with the Bills. I still feel that I would say if I had to pick of the 4 quarterbacks in that division, I would go with the best quarterback. If I had all things being equal, and I think Josh Allen is the best playing quarterback of the 4. And I think they still have enough horses around him. I think it's a slightly diminished cast. They know how to win in the regular season. Even when they aren't doing well, they showed last year they can come back even from a pretty deep hole. So I feel that they are what I would pick. And I probably will take them at near 2-1 at this point, if at least for a small amount.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pruitt, who do you like in the AFC least?
So I think Bills are probably the winners there. I also am very intrigued by the Dolphins.
Really?
I think I
like them too.
Up and coming. They've got 2 high dollar receivers. They've got a couple of dynamic, running backs. Tua's Tua. He's a plus, average plus quarterback. They're a kind of a pass-first offense, high-octane offense. To me, it comes down to their defense. If their defense can hold people under 30 points a game. They're going to win a lot of games this year and give Buffalo another run for their money. It'll come down to one or two key wins if Mike McDaniel can make a couple bold moves and win a game that he probably shouldn't have won or something like that. It could give them that last game or so that they need to top the Bills.
Yeah.
I feel the Dolphins supporting cast between injuries and a variety of other pieces are way worse this year. And so I think that that they are dealing with a now competent Jets team as opposed to incompetent Jets team last year. And so it's just the Patriots are going to lose 6 games in that division. Everybody's going to get their 2 wins against the Patriots.
I mean, they'll sneak out some because that's how division games go. But yeah, I think you're right.
I think, the Patriots are possibly worst record. That is the worst. So, like, if you're looking at order, it's like, not sure, maybe, kind of, and then the Patriots.
Definitely.
And it's not close. They might be a good bet for worst overall record.
I do agree with you that the Miami's injury situation needs to get a lot better for them to have a chance. They're banged up from day one, which is not a good way to start the season.
True story. So I have been swayed by just looking at the overall defenses in this division. The best defense, and I don't think it's close, is the Jets. And then also, I consider what they did with absolute horse garbage throwing the ball last year. Zach Wilson was, I think, the worst in NFL history, and if not, at least the last 2 decades, QB rating, everything else, and they were still competing in games. If Aaron Rodgers is a shell of himself, he will be 10 times better than the best Zach Wilson. I'm going on the saucy take, man. I'm kind of getting on board with it. You have Breece Hall, arguably the best running back. You have Garrett Wilson, one of the up-and-coming wideouts. You have one of the best offensive lines. You have the best defense in the division. And, man, I just think there's some room. And they have the easiest schedule, and it's not even close. The easiest schedule by far. It's not even close.
Dexter with the hot take to take the favorite to win the division. Yes. Hot as hell, son. Hot as hell.
It's just the fact is, I didn't really think I would go that direction until I really started thinking about it. And I agree with you. I think it's a lot of New York money coming in to move the odds. I don't necessarily, maybe all the pundits have totally shifted, but they weren't on this in the off season. They weren't talking about this earlier this summer. Now suddenly it's shifting the last 2 weeks.
The Jets are like the opposite of the Miami team, right?
That's exactly right.
I mean, it's low octane, grind it out, stay close with your defense.
But they have enough playmakers at the critical
And now,
positions.
if Rodgers stays healthy and they've got a couple good playmakers, we'll see.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying, Luke. They are the favorites of the division now, but it seems like a fake favorite. I mean, Buffalo and
Saleh
Miami.
runs a good defense. All right.
Great defense.
They have one of the sketchiest offensive coordinators, and Saleh can't run an offense at all. Okay,
well, that's why
and then
he has
their
a Hall
offensive
of Famer
coordinator
running it
is
now.
a fanboy for the quarterback
That's
who
it.
hasn't played in 2 years and is 40 years old, and his body may literally fall apart in the first game again.
And it might. That's the thing. If it does,
I would not feel comfortable taking that, especially at only plus 160. But we ought to move on to the AFC.
That's
South.
it.
North,
AFC South. I want Pruitt to lead us off with who do you believe? So we got Houston, fan favorites from last year because of CJ Stroud. We got the Colts, who everybody thinks Richardson, if he plays the full season, may be enough to put him over the top. We got Jacksonville. Can they have a resurgence like they did 2 years ago when Trevor Lawrence was the bee's knees, and then last year he just sucked it. And then we have Tennessee, who everybody thinks is going to suck, and Will Levis threw 4 touchdowns his first game and then did 4 the rest of the season. But he also has Lewis' favorite, Tyjae Spears, running the rock with Pollard in the back. Yeah. And their defense really isn't that bad. They took Snead from the Chiefs. They didn't take him. Whatever. I got you.
Louisiana or whatever.
So they got
a couple pieces, but the defense is bad. All right.
Yep.
And they don't have an offensive line, and they overpaid for a bunch of skill players that probably aren't going to have as much success as you would want.
Yeah.
No,
so they got
Titans
Ridley and Hopkins.
They're the clear 4, and it's not close.
Well,
and the
let
odds
Pruitt
bear
make
out.
his pick. Let's let Pruitt get his little take in here.
Oh, so we're not doing the odds
the
first.
teams.
So you go ahead and I've got the odds in front of me, so I'm kind of cheating, I guess.
You're cheating.
Yeah, you are cheating.
So,
I'm not looking at any odds.
I mean, the Texans are in the same camp as Miami, right? They got super dynamic offense, lots of skilled players on the offensive side of the ball, and then the Colts are similar to the Jets. They got a fantastic running back. They've got a good defense, and they've got a quarterback that's maybe the difference maker this year if he can stay healthy. Sounds very, very much like the Jets.
And who is this?
This is Richardson and the Colts.
Okay.
So without knowing the odds like Lou does, I'm going to say the Colts make it very close this year. I think Taylor stays healthy and Richardson stays healthy. They will compete.
So that's your division pick.
Yes.
All right, Colts, I like it. Spicy. Lewis, who do you like? Stop looking at the odds.
That's a hot take, Pruitt. That's a really hot take. So the best odds in the AFC to win their division is who? Okay.
Chiefs.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Okay.
Minus 200.
No, it's minus 270. Okay. Who's
better.
number 2 in the entire AFC to win their division?
Baltimore. Well, maybe not. Yeah, probably Baltimore.
It's the Houston Texans at literally plus 100 even money, which is not good. That's like betting a game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's how prohibitive Houston is to win the division.
Yeah.
The Colts and the Titans are basically even at 3-1 type money if you want either of them. So Pruitt, you got $10 says, or two units or whatever you want to call it, man.
Yep.
That says that you ought to go ahead and take them if you feel that they're that close.
So who's Lewis like?
I absolutely would rather take the best money odds team. I mean, Houston has probably the third best quarterback in the league in the AFC. Maybe the second. Who knows? He's up there. He's got weapons. And they had a ton of cap space because they have a quarterback on a rookie deal, and they just added a ton of pieces. Like, there's no reason to not think that the Texans aren't going to be the top 3 team in the entire AFC. And they don't have to go through the gauntlet that is the AFC North. The AFC North is like 3.5 contenders. And I'm not sure how you add it up between the Browns and the Steelers. There's something there. And they all have to beat up on each other. That's why their odds aren't as good.
Sounds good. Chisholm, welcome.
Welcome, Chiz.
Yeah, we're just talking ball.
Hopefully the draft
We're ball knowers.
We're in the middle of doing our division winner predictions.
Awesome.
We're on division number 2. AFC East, we want to hop in real quick. Do you have a hot take on who you think is going to win the AFC East this year? And I can tell you who we picked first. I'll just let you roll.
Yeah, you tell me. You tell me, and then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the correct answer after you tell me.
So we had
the Pats are left.
Lewis and Pruitt took Buffalo. And I think the Jets, if they stay healthy, they can win that division. And apparently so does Vegas. But whatever. I didn't know the odds for that, and then here it is. So here
I was leaning Miami.
That's number 2, I think. So, frankly, I got Buffalo.
So
third.
I have Miami winning. I got Miami winning. I think they're totally stacked on offense. I think their defense is good enough. I think Buffalo's going to have a drop-off. And I'm just worried. I think the Jets could surprise some people, but I'm just worried about injuries, and I don't think their quarterback's making it the whole way. And I
Again, hot take. They're the money Vegas favorites.
Are they really?
So, yes,
that
moved over the last week. It moved.
Yeah, I had no idea.
The Jets.
I assumed it was Buffalo or Miami.
It just
and
flipped.
then third would be the Jets. So that was
the
weird.
Jets are number 1. Okay,
the Jets. I know.
All right.
I know we're in newfangled.
According
territory.
to FanDuel, and they're
okay. All right.
Maybe you might want to sponsor them.
All
right.
All right, Chisholm, number 2.
Yeah.
AFC South.
We have just finished our deal, AFC South. We've got Lewis with Houston, Pruitt with the Colts. I have Jacksonville winning the division.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to take Tennessee and make it a 4-banger?
I do. not want to take Tennessee.
100% do not.
No.
I am in on the Texans winning the division.
Again,
Texans.
just so you know, they are the second highest odds.
We call it worst
after
odds.
the Chiefs
You don't get
to
anything
win
for
their division in the entire AFC.
Really?
They are
Fair
plus
enough.
100 to win the AFC South. Like literally betting a game.
Wow. Okay, I'm shocked. I wouldn't make that bet, to be clear.
Me either.
Exactly.
That's-
You just
yeah.
dumb
I'm
bet.
not making
Terrible.
that
It'd be a
bet.
terrible
But
much like you would only bet like $10,000 on the Chiefs to win the AFC West. You wouldn't do like a normal
right,
bet on this.
right.
All right. So let's jump into the AFC North. So we have Baltimore.
Norris.
They come every single year bringing it. Lamar always gets there, but then never gets there.
Hmm.
We have Cincinnati. Burrow's back, but Chase might not be. Who freaking knows? They got Zach Moss running the ball. They have a good defense. Not bad. We have Cleveland, who came out of nowhere last year, but it's really Joe Flacco the Sacco bringing them up there
True.
with that defense. Unbelievable. And then we got Pittsburgh. Guaranteed 9-8 because that's all Tomlin does. But, hey, it could be
That
good
might be
enough to
good
win it
enough.
any given year.
Right?
So
That
we
might be
have
good enough in
Blitzburg
that
with the quarterback carousel of death that nobody wants. But hey, I'm sure they're there for something. So Chisholm, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the AFC North?
Well, I think it's going to be the Ravens. I think they are primed and ready. I think Lamar is adding Travis Henry, adding Derrick Henry. I think really adds another dimension for them. I don't see anybody outside of the Chiefs being better than them in the AFC. Honestly, like I think
tough.
they are really, really good.
Yep.
So that would be who I would pick.
All right, Lewis, what say you on the division winner for this division?
I'll hold off on the odds because you're complaining.
Yeah, hold up on the odds, then just pick a team. Then we'll go in the odds.
So my thought is that I'm not as in love with the Ravens, but I do think they probably are one of the best teams in the AFC. I'm actually more on the Ravens because I don't like where the Bengals are at. I think the loss of Tyler Boyd will hurt. They now are at kind of like 2, and they don't have like that third great wide receiver that really helped them get over the hump. I'm not 100% sure, and everything I've kind of heard and read medically, that I'm not like super excited about Joe Burrow's injuries, and I don't know about his recovery potential being as like, I don't know if we'll ever see. I'm a little concerned.
Right.
I would
And
like
folks-
to see good people be good, but I'm
Yes,
not
right.
100% sure he'll ever be that like super Joe Burrow that he once was. He might be pretty good, but I don't think he's going to be like the Superman. Just my
And
thoughts.
shrewdness listeners, that's Dr. Lou making his
That's right.
doctor opinion. So this
Half
comes with
Dr.
some.
Lou.
This is a medical opinion that we're giving here.
That's right.
I think Cleveland is going to be half competent, except for are we going to get any quarterback play from Deshaun Watson? Like that's the thing. Like they're going to be kind of interesting.
It totally
except
depends
for-
on the frequency of the rub and tug, doesn't it? I mean, like that's the
Yeah, I
only.
mean,
I
how
think the
often is he
Steelers-
getting good rubs?
I
They're
think
way
the
better in
Steelers
Houston,
are-
apparently. That's why CJ had such a good year. He got the
Steelers are-
Deshaun Parlor treatment.
That's what I was saying earlier. The Browns and the Steelers both have excellent defenses, and
Yeah.
they're gonna win some games 9-6. And no one wants to watch these games,
Right.
but they're gonna happen. All right, and there are wins that are gonna happen. But I don't know if the Steelers. I think this is the year that Tomlin, tucks it and says, "All right, I'll take my lumps and see if we can get something going in a positive direction." Because going 9-8 is killing them, repeatedly killing them, because they can't move up and actually turn their.
No.
talent
They are
over.
stuck in mediocrity.
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens, and they are
Sounds
the
good.
third best odds.
All right, Padog.
They're the
give me your
third
take
best odds
on-
to win the division.
Their division. So it's Chiefs,
Oh,
Texans,
okay,
then
got you.
Yeah,
Ravens
you,
have the
They're
next
the-
you
best
got your
odds.
third.
They're
in
the-
the- yeah,
Yeah, the third best
in the AFC.
odds to win there.
Gotcha,
Their own
gotcha.
division. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Ravens are a clear favorite.
Oh, I love this. We just killed the Ravens.
We destroyed them.
No, go ahead, Pruitt. And then I'll give my pick, and we'll tell the listeners why.
I want to root for the Steelers this year. I think they have an interesting team. If they choose to ditch Russell Wilson and they put Fields back there, they could seriously run the ball with Warren and Harris and Fields.
And it kind of feels more Pittsburgh with Fields back there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
I think
it feels
so.
Totally.
Like if you're going to win a game 9-6, you're going to grind the heck out of the ball. You're not going to throw it.
I agree.
A third of the time.
And
Kinda
Najee,
Cordell Stewart
Jalen,
reincarnated, right?
Right?
You're going to be super conservative. You're going to run the ball. You're going to kick it away and play defense. And you're going to force turnovers and have short fields.
TJ Watts and Minka Fitz going to work for you. I think it'd be good. All right, so we have
that's my interesting team to watch, but yeah, the Ravens are too powerful. They're gonna
Ravens. That's where I'm at for all the reasons mentioned above. I think they're in their prime. They're in their window. They're really good. They're at the championship game last year, and they're just really good. There's no real hole. So I mean, Cincinnati will absolutely win the division.
That's right.
Burrow's going to look MVP. Jamar Chase is going to come back, sign tomorrow, and be ready to rock and roll. But that's the problem, man. They feel a lot like Dallas to me with a bunch of issues going into the season. They're all about me.
Yep.
It's just not – there's too many questions for me for Cincy. In Pittsburgh, what we talked about. In Cleveland, I hate Deshaun Watson. He's terrible.
Yeah.
So it seems like Baltimore should absolutely win it. But when all four of us are on something –
guess what?
It never freaking
happens.
So put money on any other team.
So I'm on the Chargers.
Right. So, hey, by the way, just as added fun, I asked ChatGPT who was going to win the AFC North, and they say ChatGPT says the Bengals.
The Bungles, they're going, baby.
But the
I'm telling you, we just iced it for them. They should
What'd
pay us.
What'd they say on the East?
The Buffalo Bills.
Okay, so Chat GPT is 2 for 2 with.
And then who are the other one we did?
The South,
AFC South so far.
It says Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
Really?
welcome to my AI.
Right. So that's what ChatGPT has for the 3 division winners that we've picked.
All right, ChatGPT is probably going to join the rest of us on the West. Do we really have to pick? No, it's the Chiefs every single day, all day long. The West is probably the weakest division ever that's been in a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll take it because, oh my God, it's been tough so
much
long.
buzz for the Chargers, which I find it's just but they got
it's the Harbaugh effect.
They got Harbaugh. It's Harbaugh. Oh, you get a competent coach in there. They're gonna.
We've heard that one for 5 coaches.
Listen,
in a row.
last year was the year that I actually bought in. I was like, holy crap, the AFC West is the best division in football. They went out and got all these players. Or was it last year? Was it last year that all this stuff, 2 years ago?
Just 1 year ago.
Oh my God. Whatever it was, they looked stacked, and they're all horrible. They're all just awful.
No, it was last year, and it was right after they got Sean Payton. And here's what I'll say. I think the second best team in the division this year is going to be the Denver Broncos with rookie Bo Nix will be the second best team
that's interesting.
in the West. I do not think it'll be Vegas. I think they just don't have enough quarterback play, don't have enough talent. Devontae Adams, I think he's on everybody's bust of the year. I think he's still good. I take him, but he might be half a season. And Zamir White, screw him. Then you have the Chargers. Herbert has no foot. He's not going to be able to play a season with 1 foot. It doesn't work. And their backup is Easton Stick in my butt. No way am I taking that.
Stick all day long.
All he's got to do is take a hand off and turn around and hand it off.
So I'm taking Denver as number 2. That should be our discussion for this division because it's kind of more fun to talk about the second.
Yeah, who's going to finish second in the AFC West?
So I'm doing Denver. Who's everybody else got?
I think the Raiders are last. So I would say the Raiders are last, and it is between Denver and the Chargers. I have a deep hatred for Denver, which really clouds my it really does. It makes it really hard for me to be objective when it comes to them. But I just feel like the Chargers have more talent, and I do think I hate Harbaugh as a Notre Dame guy. I hate Michigan. I freaking hate that they won the national championship, especially because they cheated. Yes, they cheated. And but I think they're gonna be better, and I think he's gonna get them balanced, and they're gonna win those close games that they have never won, and they're gonna be second. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Got Denver.
All right.
I support I support your
Pruitt,
decision, Chiz.
You're on the Chargers. I'm putting a P next to that. We're keeping this thing. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be going down.
Yeah.
We're gonna
All right.
do this stuff.
All
Right, Lou.
We're
What
gonna-
do you got?
Well,
Who's
it's
second best?
It's the Chargers, all right, but I have a
What?
little diatribe, and I apologize. Number one, the Broncos are plus 2,000 to win the division. The
I didn't say
Raiders
win, I
are
said
plus
second.
2,000.
1,000. Okay,
Whew,
so
that is bad.
Vegas has Denver twice as bad as the Raiders, who they also think are bad.
Right.
Okay, so I got you. I think it all comes down to the Denver doesn't have a defense, and so they're going to just get scored on and dunked on all day long. And it's great that Bo Nix might have some moments of competence, but he's going to be playing from behind and hucking and chucking the ball.
All right, what's Chat GPT say? Let's
Hold
just
up,
see what.
I ain't done yet.
Oh, I thought you were
All
done
right, I'm not done
diatribing.
yet.
He's not done
I got-
diatribing.
I got-
Let him
I got
diatribe.
more diatribing.
Let the man
Listen
diatribe.
to a lot of the pundits talk about how the Chargers. Now no one thinks that they're going to overtake the Chiefs, but everybody likes the Chargers as maybe a sneaky playoff team and all this. I don't get it. They really are. They're expecting to have multiple rookies like lead their offense, and or Josh Palmer being their number one.
I know
Like
that's a
really,
tough one.
this is what you think is going to be ultimately, or you think you're going to grind out running the ball with a guy who hasn't ever really run the ball like J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards, who's like 40. Like none of the pieces fit together like they think they fit together. But Harbaugh is not running the football, throwing the football, blocking. He's not doing any of those things.
Right.
So, like, I don't understand why people think the Chargers are going to be that much better.
That's
that
where I'm
they're,
at. They got a bunch of old, broken ass dudes. Once Harbaugh gets his pieces in there, I think
Sure.
they will be a good team. I think this year they suck. I think they're,
They're
going
still
to
gonna
be
be
the
number
bottom of the
2.
division because you
They're
have
gonna
no
be number
foot
2.
Herbert throwing to broken
They're gonna
and
beat the
they
Chiefs
should
once.
be retired. Like how's
I know
Gus
that's gonna
Edwards
happen.
not on
I
the
wa-
pup? J.K. Dobbins not on the pup. They are so old and decrepit.
Yeah, I agree.
Ugh.
I agree. I mean,
But they're plus 390,
I need-
which is a reachable bet that people are reaching for. But my personal opinion is that I wouldn't put them anywhere. Like I wouldn't bet them unless they were like plus 700, 800, closer to that plus 1,000 with the Raiders. I think people are morons for reaching for this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm
All right,
money on
wait.
anybody in this division for sure. But
All right, so Chat GPT says who for team number 2?
let me ask, and it puts out the Chiefs are the clear favorite. Number 2
This will like solve our issue.
is the
need AI
Chargers, is what they say. The
Oh, AI
Chargers
still
number
buying it.
2, Denver number 3, Vegas number 4.
And yes, I know how to use my vocabulary. And yes, I will use the word diatribe. Easton, stick it up your hiney.
Up the hiney. Awesome. All right, let's go into. We'll go backwards this time since we did the other one. All right, so we're gonna go with the NFC West to start us off with, and we will start with Padog. Who is gonna win this? We have Arizona with Kyler Murray, who everybody's got a little sexy pick. Can he come back and be what he was a couple years ago? We got the Rams, who everybody's already buried because they have no defense. And Aaron Donald retired, and everybody's old and broken for Stafford. We got San Fran, kind of going to the Super Bowl every other year, losing to the Chiefs. And then we've got Seattle, who has the new coach, new offensive coordinator. Supposed to be some high-flying offense going on in
And
Seattle.
Kadarius Toney.
What?
They did.
Did they?
And if so,
Yeah.
well, now I
Yeah.
got
For an interview, I'm not sure if it's official or not.
Yeah, I don't
but
think
he
anything's
went
official.
for
Nothing's
an
come across
interview.
my thing yet. So, Padog, out of those 4 beasts
It's-
of the West, who do we have?
It's the Niners.
The Niners
Easily.
for Padog.
A lot of the same returners as last year's offense and
Yep.
defense, I suppose.
Trent Williams just
So,
got his contract done today. Ayuk's in camp. CMC's coming
Yep.
back from his calf. Everybody should be full steam ahead.
Debo, Kittle, the whole Purdy, like their offense is intact from last year. Kyle Juszczyk. So
Yeah,
I think
like
that's a
it.
pretty clear favorite. I
All
feel
right.
I feel like we should be picking second. I don't. Is anybody going to pick against the Niners?
Yeah.
It is the second worst betting on a team at -1.
Yeah.
So we're all on this one. Is that what?
Yeah.
I
I'm
may,
on-
in fact, have tried to talk y'all into the Chiefs Niners parlay mini moon ago, as a nice
There's so
like
I mean,
plus
how
money.
many return Super Bowls have there been? That's hard.
Repeats?
Bills did it 3 years. Bills
Yeah,
did
the
it 3
same
years in a
two
row in the
teams?
90s.
The
and then
only-
the
Both
Eagles
teams?
did it 3 years
Well,
in a row.
let's see,
in
it was only,
2000s.
The NFC and AFC, they played the exact same team.
It
3
only
years in a row.
happened
No.
the AFC NFC was Cowboys Bills 2 years in a row at least, right? It was Cowboys Bills in the 90s when they lost their 4 in a row. I think the Bills and Cowboys played 2 of those at least, maybe 3.
Do? I don't think they did.
Let me see.
Whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
this
whatever.
is beyond
All
the
right.
scope of what we're talking
No,
about.
it's
So
it's
we've got-
important, Lewis.
Are we all on San Fran? Is that the takeaway?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Like
So
I said,
number
that's
2, who is our fun, sexy pick as the one that's going to potentially unseat the behemoth? If that's more fun.
Okay,
I'll start.
I got
to
to know. I know who's number 2.
Yeah.
I like Seattle. Again, my little high-flying new coach, new scheme. I think they got a defensive focus with their head coach. They got an offensive coordinator, knows what they're doing. I'm taking a sexy little pick of Seattle, and I just left there, and it's kind of a fun place to be. So Seattle is going to be the second-place team in the NFC West.
Okay, let me
Did you watch Geno Smith throw?
let me put a
quarterback last
bow on this.
Geno, baby.
Let me put a bow on this. 93 and in Super Bowl 27 and Super Bowl 28, it was Cowboys Bills. Back
Fine, it can happen.
one time. I think it's the only
Every
time it's
40
happened.
years. Or every 30 years. Let me do math.
I agree with you.
12.
I'm going with the Seahawks number 2. I can't believe I said that.
I know it does sound weird saying
It just
it out loud.
it doesn't feel right, but I feel like
Feels better than saying Arizona.
like
or
yeah,
Rams.
exactly. It's like, hey, which of these really, 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 really ugly dogs would you like to take home with you? That's kind of what
Yeah,
I'm being
yeah.
put in front of.
This one. I'm going to take this dog home.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going with Seahawks.
Rams are plus 330, okay, to win the division. The Chargers are plus 390 to win their division.
Wow.
So I'm going Rams.
Okay.
And it's not close. Vegas has it like almost 2.5 to 1 better overall odds than the plus 700 Seahawks. You like Seahawks? Throw some units on the Seahawks because they're plus 700. That's a
All right,
good.
maybe I'll make that bet. Why not?
I think I will. Yeah.
You would. Hey, it's just
I got
like
a
if you want to
dollar
bet
burning a hole in my
$100
pocket.
on Minnesota
Wait.
to
Hey,
win.
no, we're not there yet.
Say
No, but
that.
if you want to
Hold
bet,
your
it's,
horses.
okay, it's just like if you want to bet $100 on Minnesota to win,
Too early.
Hey, we're not
you'll lose
there yet.
$100.
We're not there yet. Yeah.
Lou, the 700. The plus
That's so funny. All
plus
right.
700 is to win the division,
Jesus.
right?
Padog.
just to win
For
the
Seattle
NFC.
to win the NFC West.
NFC West. Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right, Padog,
So
who do you like?
I also like the Rams. If they can stay healthy, again, that's a key statement for probably any team. But
True.
Nakua, Kupp, Kyron Williams, and Stafford, if those 4 can play the whole season, which is probably super high plus odds. But
Yeah,
if they could manage to do that, they
Can
got
I
a
get
fighting
odds
chance.
on that? I'll take odds on that.
It's not a new coach who we think might be good. It is a very good coach
who will always be
coached-
good.
who coached a crappy team
Yeah, he's good.
to like near the
Yeah.
playoffs last year and like
McVay's a
screwed
stud.
everybody.
I like
repeatedly.
McVay.
That's awesome.
I do like McVay.
He is good.
Yep. So I can see them being the second place team in that division.
McVay's going to
All right,
be.
so house divided on that one. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
McVay's going to be
Yeah.
awesome when he
Rams and
takes
Seattle.
over for Reed.
Yeah, like a decade from now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the NFC Norris division. So we've got
Norris.
We've got the black and blue division with Chicago, the Windy City with their fresh new number 1 pick that we all love here on the Shrewdness, Caleb Williams. He just embodies toughness and badassery. I think that's when we think tough and badass, we think Caleb Williams in a
That's
dress.
right.
And that's just us.
That's
But
better
they do
than
have a
us.
ton of tools for him. And by God, I don't know. They got enough talent around him, but whatever. Detroit, I mean, they're a good freaking team. They got this one to the NFC Championship game last year, and but for some questionable coaching decisions, they may well have gone to the Super Bowl last year. We have Green
drop
Bay,
fourth down.
young, up and coming, super young team led by Jordan Love. And we got a young wideout crew that we talked about that everybody seemed to like. And then we started talking about it, they all had warts and nobody wanted any of those guys on the
Right.
fantasy team. Regardless, they have 4 dudes. And then we have my beloved Vikings, who, boy, are they going to have a rough year. Oh, my God. They're projected for like 4 wins, and is what it is. I don't know if you'll be picking them this year. Whatever. So who do you got winning this division? Probably not Minnesota.
I mean, I was gonna pick Minnesota.
You talked me out of it.
But I'm not now.
But the problem that I have with that is that I have them finishing last in the division. So I guess I won't
really
pick
close.
them.
guess I won't pick them to win.
I mean,
But, man, they do have a good defense. I just don't think it's enough because it's just
here's the deal. I'm going to shock the world right here. I'm shocking the world. Green Bay Packers going to win the division. The Green Bay Packers are going to win the division. And the reason why is everyone thinks that the Lions are going to win the division. They should win the division. They have the most talent in the division. They should win it. However, I will continue to say this, even though no one else wants to face the fact. Their coach is reckless. And he's borderline stupid. I understand it works. When it works, everyone goes, yeah, it's great. But at the end of the day, the percentages are the percentages for a reason. And he is going to cause some major problems in some games with his jackassery and why he decides to go for things when he decides to go for them. And the rest of the division is good enough. And Jordan Love is going to have his coming out party this year. And it's going to be the Packers with the upset of the division. That's my pick.
all right. I like it. Lewis, where are you at in this division?
I'm drinking the Detroit Lions Kool-Aid. They just have too much talent.
Yeah.
I think that the Packers running back situation is not just dicey. It's Josh Jacobs has a literal fork sticking out of his back. We saw it
I
all
know.
with the Raiders.
He's always
and
walking around like this. It's like,
I mean, we watched that fork, and we all knew he was cooked.
True.
I don't know why they thought after 2,000 carries with the Raiders last year, he was going to be better this year. He's not going to be juvenated or rejuvenated. So then it's all like, well, is Love the next Mahomes or C.J. Stroud level like talent? He had half a season last year. And I watched him play a lot because I had a lot of Packers, unfortunately.
yeah, you
And
did.
I'm not convinced.
You
I'm
damn
not
near wearing a
convinced.
cheese head last year. You had so many Packers on your team.
So I think the Lions, but I will say, Chisholm, it's only plus 125 to plus 210. Like it's one
For
of
the
the
Lions?
narrower gaps, not the narrowest. Yeah, the narrowest
Lions
is
v.
the
Packers.
Ravens Bengals, but the one of the next narrowest is that Lions is 125 and Packers are 210. I mean, it's
All right. Padog,
Okay.
where are we at? Are you going to
So-
take the favorite of the division?
I do like the Lions. They do have a ton of talent. They were a play or two away from going to the Super Bowl last year. I think they could do very similar things this year. To me, the Bears are interesting. Just the number of moves they made. They kind of pushed all their chips in. We're like, if we're gonna do this, let's do it big. And so they
not a good
they
bet.
Yeah.
got their
everybody,
two.
No. It's not a good bet because it's plus 340.
340.
Yeah.
Pretty good, yeah.
It's not even that far from the Packers.
Yeah,
I'll
So-
take the
Take
Rams
that.
before I do the Bears.
I take the Vikings before I take the Bears just because of the odds.
Wow.
How bad is it? Give me my
800.
stupid
It's
odds.
actually not. It's better than the Raiders.
800.
it's what
800.
800. It's better than the Raiders.
Ooh.
Better than the Broncos. Better than the Giants. Better than the Commanders. Like
So
better
you're
than the
saying there's a
Cardinals.
chance,
Right?
plus
That's what
800
I'm
is not
talking
that
about.
bad.
They've got some.
Woo, let's
they've-
go, Aaron Jones. Let's go,
Right?
Sam
They have
Darnold,
some-
MVP.
Hammy Jones.
They have some talent.
Gross.
All right, so I'm taking Detroit because they just have too much talent. They're in their window. Jared Goff knows what he's doing. The coach should learn. God, he should learn from these mistakes.
He's not going to.
Watch some tape. His wideouts are good. His running backs are good. His offensive line is good. His defense plays with some zest. I like Detroit.
He's reckless. He's reckless. I'm telling you.
He may be reckless, but
he may have enough talent to overcome his recklessness, but eventually
that's what I think he does. There's some teams that can do it, and I think the teams play so hard for him to overcome his
he reminds me of
coaching decisions.
They're at a B plus to an A at like all skill positions across the board.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Mike Martz with the Rams. When he had so much talent, when he's too smart for everybody else, he had so much more talent than everybody else, and he ended up like losing some games because he was so freaking smart that he like did stupid things. So
then out of the league,
and then gone. And I think that's what's going to happen with Dan Campbell.
They don't even know who he
I think that's what's going to happen to him. I like him. I like him as a dude. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. That's what I think he is.
True.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the NFC South division. So we've got returning for the title this year. We've got the Atlanta Falcons coming back with earnest. They drafted a quarterback. Oh, and they also spent $160 million on one. So we have, the Falcons and their awesomeness. But the thing is, they also have Bijan Robinson. So who knows?
And they traded for Judon, and they had multiple signings. The talent.
And the best thing they did was get rid of the ratty ass quarterbacks and head coach from last year. That's the best thing they did, and everything's a positive. Yeah. The second team we can look at, the Carolina Panthers, Lewis's hometown team, sitting there in North Carolina. Okay, they suck. They're not.
Are there any Carolina fans ever anywhere?
No.
Do they exist?
Not Charlotte.
Around here, they like to say, keep pounding. It's a good thing.
We'll just leave that
it's all
there.
over everywhere.
That sounds like
that's right.
Sounds like a Charles Barkley
exactly.
Quote right. Just keep pounding.
The guy keeps banging and banging and banging against you.
Banging. All right, and then we have New Orleans, who just doesn't excite hardly anybody with Derek Carr, captain check down, but he's throwing to one of the best wideouts in the league, Chris Olave. He has a crusty old veteran running back, Alvin Kamara, a defense that always seems to play better than they should, and it's always tough to win in New Orleans. Then we got Tampa Bay, the surprise of last year with Baker Mayfield, thrown to the old, crusty, reliable Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
This is what I had to do when I was looking at this division because it burns my eyes. Everything about this division burns my eyes.
It's just a beautiful place. It's just so sunny down there.
Is there any team you would feel good about betting on in this division? Is there a team that you're
let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
I'll take Atlanta all day. Yeah. No problem. Kirk Cousins is finally there. A coach is not an idiot to give Bijan Robinson the rock.
Yeah.
We got Drake London. We got Pitts. We've got plenty of offense. The line's not that bad. And the defense is actually surprisingly decent. So I'm screw Tampa. I'm going with Atlanta as my pick to win the NFC South.
Okay.
What say you, Chisholm? Do you have a strong say on
that? I actually am going to go with you. As I look at the divisions, I'm actually going to I fundamentally am against picking for Atlanta generally because they're Atlanta and they find a way to screw things up. So it's really hard to pick Atlanta. But when I look on paper who they have, the team should win. The team should win. They should win the division. I think because they're just going to be smart enough to hand the ball to Bijan Robinson enough that they probably get enough W's to win.
Just give it to the most talented guy in the league, and you should be okay on offense. So I'm with you. Yeah. Lewis, do you have a strong pick on this?
Are you going to keep pounding, Lou?
Keep pounding.
The Atlanta Falcons are minus 145.
Whoa, really?
Damn, Vegas. That's what Kirk Cousins does, baby.
That's right.
They're win now. They've dumped all kinds of money and resources and cap hell that's coming in the future. They want to win the Super Bowl with some collection of talent.
Did you say win the Super Bowl?
But that's what their thought is. But they are definitely the overall most.
Don't laugh so loud at the Atlanta fan base. They were almost there a couple different times until they let the Patriots come back from 24 points down.
God. This is their whole thing. They have dumped everything into this. They're going to be in hell for the next 2 or 3 years, but they have far and away the most
Oh,
talent
they have
in the
Michael
NFC
Penix
South.
Jr. to save
You
them
said
5
2
years
or
from now.
3 years, like they haven't been in hell, and like that's not going to continue for
Yeah,
a
I
long
think that-
period of
Yeah,
time.
you gotta look at the owner's like 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Blank, or
Yeah,
whatever his name
yeah.
is, and he's like wants to see a winner, and he could die at any minute, so he's just shelling out the cash.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
Showing
god!
out.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
So Lou, you're on Atlanta. Is that what you're
Oh, yeah.
telling me? Okay.
Yeah.
And Padog,
-145.
where are we
Yeah.
at?
You kidding me?
no, I agree. They have the talent to win. They're dumb with their money.
Yeah,
And
very.
paying
And their
paying
draft.
Cousins and then taking their first pick as
It's
a
just-
quarterback.
Highly
So
recommend shrewdness
stupid.
listeners jump on the Bucks. Just jump on the Bucks, man.
know,
we
'cause
just
we
killed
just
the
did-
Falcons.
Family United, which means we have totally.
It's got to
killed
be
Atlanta.
Tampa.
So
They're
sorry.
the, I mean, really, they're the only other team that could win the division. Right? I mean, we know Carolina's not winning
Yeah.
the division, right?
no.
Right.
And
The Saints,
Orleans.
are,
The Saints-
The Saints
Two.
don't have
Captain
enough.
check
Saints are
down.
the Steelers.
no,
No.
Saints are the Steelers of the NFC.
Right.
They spend just enough money to be half competent. And
yeah, I agree.
don't get a good draft pick, and they suck.
I don't like.
All
I don't
right.
like. I don't like the whole division. Makes me want to vomit a little bit.
It's awful.
We-
No, I
I
was
mean,
listening
we-
to another podcast. Now, hang on. I was listening to another podcast that recommended there is a bet you can get somewhere out there: combined under wins for the division.
Oh, I would do that.
It was
I would
like
do that
29.
bet.
It was like 29 wins for the whole division,
That's
Wow.
super
and that was
low.
a really good bet.
I mean,
that they were
Carolina's got to do
counting.
more than what, one? Didn't they win one game last year?
I think Carolina
Yeah.
is going to surprise people because
I think they'll be better
cannot
than
be
one.
as bad as they were.
How are they going to? What
Yeah.
changed?
I mean, they're gonna
The
Something.
pull out.
Ball's going to bounce their way.
the
just
coach,
luck,
1 year of
randomness.
experience. They've got
I say
Just
3 to 4
another year,
wins.
man.
this
Who was
year.
their number one draft pick?
Caleb Will. Oh,
Leggett?
Was he their number one?
No, he was 2. Was he?
Yeah.
He was second round.
they traded their number one pick.
Oh, that's right. They didn't have
It's
his first round
Caleb
pick.
Williams.
Dear
Caleb
God.
Williams was their first
They-
round pick.
That would have been
That-
helpful.
Oh, that's right.
The-
Yeah.
I mean, no, they're
God,
not
good
going to
job,
be
Bears,
better.
for
They're
fleecing
not
them.
going to be better. They're not good.
Yeah, there we go. So
All
I would
right.
go ahead and they're plus 1,100. I would at least put a couple units on it after we've done all this. We have absolutely iced that.
Comeback player
All
of the
right.
year.
Let's finish it
There
out.
it is. Bryce
Bryce
Young,
Young.
MVP. You heard it here first. All right, let's go to the NFC least. I think everybody's least favorite division, unless you live on the least coast.
So you know this, right? You guys know this fun fact, right? They haven't had a repeat champion in the NFC East in like
for like years,
20 years or some ungodly long
Yeah.
time. So
It's gonna
Yeah.
be great. So let's go.
so
to
that does
our
not bode
contestants.
well for the Cowboys, right? Because the Cowboys won the division last year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So
what
here's our
everybody's doing.
contestants. So we've got the Washington Commanders coming up with their fresh new pick at quarterback, Jaden Daniels from LSU, who just won the Heisman. And he's got scary Terry McLaurin to throw to. He's got Brian Robinson. He's got broken ass Austin Eckler. And they got rid of all their defensive line guys and just trade them all away. So that's Washington. We've got the New York Giants with Daniel Jones. I mean, he's just god awful. I mean, if I
Who's
feel
this
better
guy?
about having Sam Darnold than somebody, it's than having Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
But he did get Malik Neighbors, one of the most exciting young rookie wideouts to come out, also from LSU. And they have Devin Singletary. I mean, my God, who would not
Well,
want Devin
I mean,
Singletary as your running
absolutely.
I hope he
Saquon who?
destroys the league.
back?
this year.
Saquon who? Let's go Singletary.
We don't need Saquon. We'll go Devin Singletary.
And then we go to the greatest fan base on earth, the Philadelphia
Ugh,
Filthy Eagles,
vomit.
who nobody likes. And we got Jalen Hurts and company, A.J. Brown. We got the Slim Reaper. They're trying to go back, but we hate their coach.
Yeah.
We hate them. We loathe them. No one likes them. Then we got Dallas, the big star of the South, who is nothing but commotion and train wreckville all offseason. But CD did sign. They've got Turd Ferguson. Everybody loves a good turd.
Turd Ferguson.
And then, yeah, I mean, how can you not? You got old, I'm cooked, Brandon Cooks.
yeah.
And the defense is still pretty good. You got Micah Parsons, arguably the best defensive player.
And
So with
Ezekiel
that,
Elliott might be
And
the
Zeke
first
Elliott.
impact ever.
and
to
Zeke
ever
is
die during the
back.
game.
The worst running back room in the league.
His,
100%.
his legs actually may fall off in a game. Actually, but I will say, out of Dallas this week, the news, I don't know if you guys saw it, Jerry Jones, someone challenged him on whether or not he should be the GM anymore. And he he very strongly said, listen, if somebody could do this job better than me, I would turn it over to them. But they clearly can't. So, I mean,
because I've given so many people
like,
a
look
shot.
at how good
So
he's
opportunities.
doing. He's doing phenomenally well. I mean, they've won
Just ask him.
how many Super Bowls
So
in the
many.
last 24 years?
They've been to so many.
They've
though.
had more wins than the Chiefs combined over like the last 4 years in the regular season.
No, wait. You said something important there.
I agree with you. There's no like disagreement, but he could point to the winning 12 games a year plus for the last 5 years is.
He could
pretty
also
good.
point to the value of the franchise, which is the highest in professional sports. So, I mean, you could say that he's winning on that front for sure. But
He
some
is.
metrics he's
Right.
winning.
Unrealized gains.
unrealized gains,
Yeah.
he's winning.
All right, so Lewis, start us off. Who do you like? Is it that hard?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, because
I
know
really
what
like the
answer
Giants.
is, but I actually think that I don't think that they are as good as people think they are. I watched them melt down. This is the first time I'm bucking the odds trend, and I will actually take the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You're saying a repeat
I watched
champion.
the Eagles absolutely poop down their leg for like the last couple games and then go away like an old man fart in the playoffs after being this juggernaut. The second Sirianni decided to badmouth the Chiefs fans,
Yeah.
they just absolutely melted.
Parma
Maybe it's
sucks.
bias.
That's
Maybe it's bias how much I don't like the Eagles, but I just don't. I don't think if the head coach and your quarterback can't be in the same room at the same time, unsupervised, right now, this is a literal thing.
It's a problem.
Okay, they can't talk, they can't interact normally.
It's a problem.
And when you ask your quarterback in press conferences, he won't answer like how their relationship is going. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are
Yeah.
kind of a wreck, but they're just going to be throwing the ball, and CeeDee Lamb's going to have 40 billion yards, and I think they're going to be competent, and I'm actually going to take them.
Okay.
All right, Padog. Who do you like coming out of the NFC?
Lewis
East?
bucking the trend with back-to-back championships for the Cowboys.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I'm gonna lean on the Eagles.
Okay.
I think both teams are going to be worse than they were last year, Cowboys and Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be a little less worse. I think the Cowboys lost more, but the Eagles, I think you're going to see some offensive struggles. I think Jason Kelce was underappreciated for how he called protections and other things that centers do.
Losing
not
Hall
just
of Fame
anybody
centers
can-
is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anybody can just step in and take his shoes. So I think they may struggle a little bit on offense, but I think they still have enough talent.
So they got it.
An athletic enough quarterback that they can still win it.
All right,
I think it's
Chisholm.
going to be within a game or so.
Okay. I got a hot
Close,
take
close.
here. Got a hot take.
Let's
Write
get
it down. Write it down. There's going to be
I
2
got the pen.
firings mid-season in this division of head coaches. 2 firings. 1, Sirianni, when the Eagles totally collapse out of the gate. 2, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys will be fired this year as well.
I don't know how hot those takes are, but sure.
The head coach, huh? 'Cause
And
he's
the
supposed to do
reason
well.
why is because coming out of nowhere, the Washington Commanders are going to win the division. The Washington Commanders
Okay.
are going to win the division. It is going to be Jaden Daniels' coming out party. Everyone's going to
Then
say
you
this is
bet that.
incredible.
You-
And the Washington Commanders win it. And all hell breaks loose. Chisholm makes everyone millions of dollars at the casino. What's the odds?
The odds.
Unlikely.
The odds
Very.
for I just moved away from them, unfortunately, because
I know they're
thought we
so
were
big
moving
it blew up your computer.
Yeah.
away.
You
No,
gotta restart
I realize
that thing.
we
Gotta
have
count
to
the
have our
zeros.
picks in today.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like end of this podcast. If you don't have
Yep.
your picks ready to go,
Yep,
Here
yep.
we go. Divisions. It's
I
actually
got
pretty high, but honestly, if you're going to bet that, you just bet Jaden Daniels to win the whatever offensive
MVP.
rookie of the
Rookie
year.
of the year.
Offensive
You
rookie, yeah.
have to. You take one, you have to take the other.
So what are
Give
the
me my odds that I'm going to make money on.
1,100 for the Commanders, which is obviously
Cha-ching!
better than the Vikings, and Jaden
called a new
Daniels is plus 600. It's actually not even great. but
I'm taking my 1,100, baby, all the way to the
I'd
bank.
do the
All
Jaden
right.
Daniels. I would definitely do the Jaden Daniels then if you believe that's going to happen.
All right. I like it, Chisholm. There's a little spiciness for our
I'm
shrewd
telling you.
listeners out there.
Write it
That's
down.
Commanders. He sees a Houston Renaissance in DC.
I do,
the
and
nation's capital.
And I would bet the Redskins if I could, but we'll go Commanders instead.
because that's all you get,
That's right.
and you won't throw a fit. So
All
I'm
right,
going to
Pruitt.
take my
Mark
pick.
Clip. Mark Clip.
My pick.
Mark Clip and
is-
Clip Mark out of Mark Clip.
All right. We are going to go with. It's not that spicy. I think Philadelphia has too much talent, and while I can
Okay.
agree with Chisholm's take that Sirianni may get fired, all it needs to be is a warm cup of milk sitting there coaching this team because they are a very veteran-led team. I think they know what they need to do. I don't think there's just too much talent there. I think they're going to win this
That's
division.
fair.
They haven't as much
They have a lot of talent.
tumultuous offseason. It
They
is.
had a
And
lot of talent at the end of last year as well.
Well, and then that's when coaching
That was
gets
my
in the way,
point.
right?
My
When
point.
coaching gets in the way, you can lose. But I agree with you. I think Sirianni doesn't make it till October.
Yeah.
But I think that you can't really mess up handing the ball to Saquon and throwing it to A.J. Brown and the Slim Reaper and Goddard. They just have a lot of
They
people.
do.
It's just too much talent. So I'm going Philly.
They do.
All right. So that is our picks of all the division winners. Now let's just go the last spicy take for each person. Who is going to be playing in this year's Super Bowl and declare the winner? So we are super biased, I know, on one side. We could do anyone other than the Chiefs, make it somewhat interesting, but screw it, man. I'm not doing that.
No, it's
And then
just
we'll
who's
have
your
an
NFC team?
Who's your NFC team? And who's gonna? And who's the
Honestly,
Chiefs? Who are the Chiefs gonna beat in the AFC Championship? Let's do that.
Fair. That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay. I like it. So if you guys need to check your notes for half a second or check out with Mark Clip and see what he needs to
Right.
say on this one, let's go.
That Mark Clip.
That Mark Clip.
All right. I mean, if you guys are not ready, I can
You
just
go.
kinda
Oh, I
get it
totally
rolling.
got
Okay,
mine.
go for it.
You got yours? Let's go, Lou. I want to hear it.
All right. Well, I think based upon the fact that the Texans are playing in a much, much weaker division and the Ravens are going to have a hard time having a dominant record, I think the Texans are going to be either the 1 or the 2 seed, depending on how the Chiefs, whatever, breaks whichever way. So I think that we're likely to face the Texans in the title game is my
Okay.
expectation. And if they have to play in the dome, I'm not worried about that. And if the Texans have to play outside of the dome, I'm happy about that. So it's not a problem.
right.
I'm drinking the Lions Kool-Aid. I think it's Chiefs Lions, and I think Chisholm's right that there's going to be another close Super Bowl because the Chiefs can't just mollywop somebody and make it like an easy day for me. And that we're probably going to win
It will
on
never
a
be that.
decision by Dan Campbell. So that's my take.
All right. All right.
Less than 6 points.
Okay.
So Lewis has Detroit, and you have us playing Houston, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pruitt, do you have yours ready to go?
I do not hate that pick.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Lou, actually.
On which one?
I'm not,
on
on
both?
the Texans. On the Texans. On the
Okay.
NFC side, yeah, I don't know if anybody from the NFC can go to the Super Bowl. Do we have to have an NFC? Do we have to have an NFC team?
You gotta have somebody.
They're just gonna
go.
they're gonna put buy in. They're just gonna put a buy.
Yeah.
You know what? we're
Just-
we're
never
not
mind.
we're not
Never
playing
mind.
this year. It's not worth it.
Yeah, yeah, all right. I can get behind the Lions. They certainly have enough talent to get there.
It just hurts to say. What?
So I
do you
I
think-
think the Niners and the Lions still have the most talent.
People are all predicting the Niners are going to have a year from hell. So like they might win their division, but people are all talking about like all the bad whatever juju around the Niners says that this is not going to
Yeah, there was a lot of me in the camp.
There is
So,
a lot of
Dog,
me.
You got Houston, and you went with Detroit.
I'll say, yeah. I mean, I'm going to agree with Lou. That's not that whatever spicy for the podcast.
So you got the exactly same thing, Houston and Detroit. You guys are weak. All right, Chisholm, give us something fresh.
Right.
Give us a fresh take.
I like those. Teams.
It's gonna be the Chiefs and the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, and
at Arrowhead or at
it's gonna be at Arrowhead. It's gonna be at Arrowhead. Just because the Ravens division is tough, they're gonna get some losses in there, so they're probably gonna be the 3 seed. And they're going to come up and then in the Super Bowl, wow. So it's really difficult for me to think this is true, but I'm going to go with the Packers. We're going with the Green Bay Packers. It's a story. We're going to have a repeat of Super Bowl I, and
an emotionally corrective experience for the 4 people who are alive.
That's right.
Happened.
That's right.
They've got an honor flight for you guys next week,
right? And of course we're going to win that game. But that's what's going to happen. Jordan Love is coming out here.
All right.
So not only are the Packers going to the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs are going to be the first team in history to three-peat.
That's right.
That's some nice bring it on back for Lombardi.
That's right.
I love it.
All right.
That.
So Chiefs Vikings.
No.
Hey Lewis, what are the odds for Chiefs Vikings on both? Can I get odds for Chiefs Vikings?
Now, if this would have been like 2 years ago, I would have felt great, but it's not. All right, so I am going with the AFC Championship game is going to be against a very unexpected group because they're going to stay healthy the entire year, and that defense is going to play, and they're going to be a tough fight. The New York Jets. I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers staying on 2 legs all season because he's not going to get tackled. He gets rid of the ball too fast. It's just whether or not he snaps on a scramble.
Right.
And I hope not, because it'd be fun to see him play all season. And the defense is good enough to beat him. So I think it's going to be the New York Jets coming out for the AFC Championship game because I've already got them picking the division, so they should have an easier trail.
Okay.
Coming to play against us after we beat the Jets in a thriller is going to be none other than the Kirk Cousins-led Achilles tendon Falcons are going to be making the Super Bowl run this year. The Dirty Birds shuffle. They didn't expect it with Chris Chandler in 98 either. And lo and behold, they went and knocked out the 15-1 Vikings that season with Chris Chandler. So I think with Kirk Cousins, new coaches, and the most talented running back in the league, I'm going with the Dirty Birds coming.
That is a shocking pick.
All right. Chiefs to beat Vikings plus 25,000. Yes. Chiefs to beat the Falcons plus 8,500.
Okay.
Chiefs to beat the Niners plus 2,800. Chiefs to beat the Detroit Lions 46.
What about the Packers?
And the Packers should be a little bit better. It's plus 7,000. That's not too bad.
Okay. All right.
What about?
So there we go.
What about a Super Bowl of the Kirk Cousins-led Falcons versus the Aaron Rodgers
Jets, which is
battle of the Achilles tendon.
Which snaps
whose
first?
Surgery was better.
The Achilles Bowl.
Achilles Bowl.
Who can stay upright the whole game?
Picks and get out of here.
All right, picks.
All
picks.
right.
Pickety picks. I'm ready. Okay, so by the way, last week we went 2-2. So we are 2-2 on the year because 2-2 after 1 week equals 2-2. So we're 500, which puts you a little bit under on the year, but don't worry because this is when we hit our stride. Is the NFL season. Right. So we're making a pick. I'm ready to go. Can I make my pick?
If you're going to take the Steelers, I'm going to be angry right now. I'm going to be literally angry.
Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're going to my number 2 pick. Actually, this is my pick. No doubt. Stone cold lock to start off the NFL season. Seattle hosting Denver. A rowdy environment for the young Bo Nix to come into. Seattle thinking they have a shot at the NFC West. They pull off the dub. Seattle -6. You can get it -5.5 some books, but I think it's 6 right now. Lock it up.
I like it. All right. I like it. Lewis, let's just get yours out of the way so everybody else can pick with a little less stress over their head.
All right. I got my pick, and but I think you got to buy a hook. I like Atlanta -3. Right now it's at 3.5. I think that there's a strong likelihood that might matter. But I think that Atlanta at home, I wouldn't do that at Pittsburgh, but I feel comfortable that Atlanta is a way better team than Pittsburgh right now, and a single field goal is not really what I would look at as a reasonable difference between these two teams. And so it's all about Atlanta.
I like that pick.
But don't do the 3.5. I think there's
buy the hook.
That's a problem.
Buy the hook.
Yeah, buy that hook. Buy the hook.
Okay. I like it. Padog, do you have yours?
I'm torn between two. I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Dex.
All right. So I've got two as well, and whichever one I don't pick here, I'm going to pick anyway. But I just think they're better than people think this year. I think they're going to surprise. I think Jacksonville is going to come out of the gate hot. They are +3.5. I think they keep within a field goal in Miami, and because they're not going to get too hot for them. They're practicing the same crappy heat. I think Lawrence is going to be better. I think Etienne's healthy.
All right.
They got good wideouts. I like Jacksonville +3.
Okay. I like that.
Getting that extra half.
I like the half. I like that hook.
It is, just to be aware, hot. Now, this is like you get like a week or two of like these games get weird. People get like hyper dehydrated.
Yeah.
People have to get like IV fluids. This is going to be a weirder game. It's the only thing.
I like that. I like that Jacksonville pick, actually. Jacksonville's played well in the preseason.
They have.
Yeah.
They look pretty good, and I think Lawrence is going to be played. All he's got to do is not turn the ball over.
Just hang within a field goal. Just hang within a field goal.
That's it.
And I don't
Christian
like
Kirk.
outside of the skill positions Miami as much as other people do. Like they've taken.
I don't think their
backwards.
defense is as good.
Yeah.
I think their defense
it's not.
has gone backwards.
Yeah.
The offensive line not as good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tight end, not. I'm not a Jonnu Smith believer at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's had plenty of chances. So like you've got like some high paid skill positions, and then you've got a lot of meh.
Yeah.
I think you got an overall better team with Jacksonville.
All right. So we got +3.5 for
go.
Jacksonville. -3.5 for, or -3 by the hook.
-3 Atlanta. You'd have to buy a
Atlanta.
hook.
And I gave out
Seattle.
Seattle
-6.
-6.
All right.
All right.
No, we got Padog.
Dog.
This is. There's two reasons why I think this pick is legit. All right, I'm taking New. It almost hurts to even say out loud. New England +8.5.
It's a lot of points. So I like that.
It's a lot of points in game one. Cincinnati, the last 2 years, has started 0-2.
Horribly slow starters.
Slow starters, and Burrow didn't play much this preseason.
And now no Jamar
Nor did
Chase
Jamar.
Chase has been
Okay. All right, so you're saying it's going to be an 8-0 game, right? Like, I'm not kidding. They actually have said Drake May is a better quarterback, but they're scared to start him because they think he'll die. They have no offensive line at all. None. They have no offensive line. They literally said, oh, yeah, Drake May's way better, but we're going to start Jacoby Brissett, which makes no sense unless you understand that they have absolutely no offensive line. I don't know how they're going to score.
Hey, in the last 5 games, both teams are 1-4 for what it's worth.
There we go.
Look, I'm
Coin
with
toss,
you,
baby.
and if there was even like a shred of competency to the Patriots, I'm all in on that. I just don't think they're going to score anything.
Anything?
I mean, that's kind of aggressive.
I would bet shutout. If they could score negative points, I would bet on the negative
So it
points.
sounds like you're ready to put a mortgage on the under.
Sounds
40
like the
and a half.
under 40.5 for you.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I just don't think they're going to score it. I don't think the
Put
Bengals
dog.
are
Do you
going
want
to
to
score
go
40.
-40.5 the under?
Minus 40.
Or do you want to stick with the? Just take the
I'm
under
not
40
going to
and a half,
talk you out of it.
under.
I've already used my veto for the week. Sorry, listeners, but I've already used my veto, Mark Clip. So you can do what you want.
Or you can stick with it. It's no big deal. He makes some good points,
He
though.
does.
Yeah, I'm gonna be bold and say,
I like it. Do it, Brew.
That's bold, Cotton.
So
That's
this is going to be one of
bold.
those week 1 shockers. We go to Cincinnati.
Yep.
I like it.
It's at Cincinnati too.
Cincinnati's been perennial slow starter, and they've had some issues with their
They do.
Cincinnati too.
staffing and all that.
Yeah, but Cincinnati always sucks early, and Jamar Chase hasn't played. Joe Burrow hasn't played. Like it's a preseason game for them.
Jamar Chase still
It's the
hasn't
most-
practiced yet.
If I
Their
remember
It's the
game
correctly,
is
most
in 4
lopsided
days.
line.
If
Most
we-
lopsided line, and
well, it's
that's tough to
lopsided,
do.
but weirdly enough, I think a lot of people are on your Pruitt thing because if we go back and look and we pull up our guess the lines that we did, which is really good content, which we may or may not do it at some point in the future. I think it was like 9 or 9.5 when we actually
That's right.
a week ago.
It was 9.5.
I think the line has been moving strongly. Like people are all doing.
It started at 9.5. It was.
So we have a worse number now that it may be kind of more like on the
Lean
edge.
forward, Lou.
I get it. No, yeah, I get it. It's fine. A lot of people are doing it, so that probably means there's something to it. But I'm scared. I don't know how that will score.
Yeah, it was minus 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's moved. I mean, that means people
Moved a
are
point.
betting your direction. People are trying to take those points,
Right.
Yep.
just like you.
Yeah.
It's all right. Once
Fine.
you get in win our parlay and we're sitting in that yacht.
That's
next week,
right.
It's all good.
Let's do
It's
it.
gonna be great.
So that if you guys
All right,
want to
take
start
us out.
4-0, jump on it.
That's it.
All right.
Boom.
So,
More guillotine next week, promise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So just for, I think we've already kind of covered that. For all shrewd listeners out there, we will be logging our bets every week like this and keeping track of our running total. Broadcasting
For
who's
informational
going to make
purposes
you the
only.
most money.
Right.
Please reach out to appropriate gambling resources if you have a
That's
problem.
right. Call 1-800. I have a gambling
Bets
problem.
off.
Or
1-800 bets off.
Do all
is that what it
this
is?
stuff.
Bets off.
Words.
Be real. All the
Words.
gambling, we're not condoning gambling. If you're going to lose
Gambling
money,
is
blame it on
bad.
us.
It's bad.
Y'all all get help if you need help.
Get
All
help.
There's lots of resources. Go,
Don't
get
have
help.
any beer either.
That's right.
So Lou, you took Atlanta, right?
We got Atlanta minus 3. We got New England plus 8.5. We got Seattle minus 6. We got Jacksonville plus 3.5. Let's go. Let's see this
All right.
week. Enjoy the week 1, shrewdness fans. Here we go.
Yep.
The season's upon us.
2 more days. We see the Chiefs and Ravens kick
Awesome.
things off.
Cannot
It's
wait.
going to be a great season. Looking
And
forward
next
to
week, I will be addressing the American Ninja Warrior finale on the pod. Thank you very much.
Wait.
I cannot wait.
Very excited. Apparently, there's another $1 million winner this year.
Cannot wait.
I will have a live looking.
I can't wait for the American Ninja Warrior breakdown and the Chiefs breakdown for week 1. This is going to be great.
It's going to be great. All
I will
right.
be out next week, but Chiz can host.
And I will be hosting from Cancun. So we will see you all there.
All right.
That sounds good. I wish I was going to Cancun.
Yeah, this is totally going to happen.
No, it's business,
All right.
so not really fun. So
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining. Listening to the show. We appreciate you liking and following. on
like
your
and follow,
favorite
like and
social
follow, like and
media-
follow.
on
New
your
mic next
favorite-
week for Lou.
Instagram, YouTube, Spotify.
And
Hit
X.
us up wherever you're at.
X.
And X.
Yep.
Hopefully soon to be sponsored by FanDuel.
Soon to be, I'm certain. Or bets
Funding.
off. 1-800 bets off. Either one.
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week. This is the Shrewdness Podcast signing off.